In my opinion, I don't think the government should be able to tell us what to do with our bodies. Let's take, for example, abortion. I'm on the fence. I don't agree with abortion. I don't disagree with abortion. I think that people should do whatever it is that they want with their bodies. I don't think that abortion should be a form of birth control, but it's not my body. It's not my choice. It's also not the government's choice. I don't know when we gave them the authority and power to tell us what's best for us, what we can do with our bodies, but apparently we have. For them to make abortion illegal in some states, I don't know if it's federally illegal or that's a state thing, but for them to have the audacity to make it illegal anywhere and tell somebody what they can or can't do with their body is absolutely shameful. As another example, drugs. I don't do drugs. I'm terrified of getting addicted. It's a lot of stuff they say that goes into creating the drugs, a lot of chemicals and stuff like cocaine has battery acid or something in it. I don't do drugs, but I don't think that the government should be able to tell you if you can do drugs or if I can do drugs. I just don't think they should have the authority to do that. That doesn't mean that everything should be legal, right? That doesn't mean that you should be able to do cocaine and then go drive on the highway and do 60 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour, 100 miles an hour. But you already can't do that. We already have a law for driving under the influence. But if somebody wants to sit in their house and, smoke weed or do crack or do coke, I think that they should have the right to. I just don't think that it should be the government's decision. They should have the authority to tell you what you can do personally with your body. That doesn't mean that you can just, like I said, that doesn't mean that you can just go out and do anything. But we already have laws in place for doing things under the influence and the consequences of that. But for some reason, we've given the government the authority to tell us what we can and what we can't do with our own bodies. It's just asinine to me. I don't know how we got to this point, but here's where we are. And I know that some of the laws are changing. They're starting to legalize marijuana. I saw something about the federal government rescheduling it, and that's a good thing. I think that the decriminalization of things like weed are important, right? Like I said, I don't think that people should use drugs, but I don't think that it's the government's decision to tell us what we can and can't do with our body, right? Only with our body. No, you can't get high and go murder somebody. We have laws in place for that already, for murder and getting behind the wheel when you're intoxicated or when you're under the influence of something. We already have laws for that. We don't need more laws. And the reason I believe in these laws, by the way, is you're affecting other people. When you get behind the wheel of a vehicle and you're driving on the public road where other people also have public access to that road, you're putting other people in danger. But if you want to sit in your house and do whatever drugs that you want to do, if you have the authority to sit in your house and drink or smoke cigarettes, I don't know that there's a difference between other drugs and the drugs that are illegal. So I don't think that the government should decide which ones you can and can't do. But that's where we are. That's our society. And you got to play by the rules. I'm not telling you to go and do any drugs if that's what you do. But, in the society, you have to play by whatever rules are currently going on. I'm just saying, from my perspective, I don't think that the government should be telling us what we can and we can't do for our own bodies. I think that when we give away the power to the government and the authority to tell us what we can and can't do with our bodies, we're giving away our power. I think that we have enough common sense to decide what's good and what's best for us. For whatever reason, we've decided that someone else should have that control. Maybe one day we'll get back to governing our own authority on these decisions. But for now, we're playing under the government's rules, and everybody stay safe and don't do anything that's going to get you in trouble. Don't add to the population, don't take away from the population because you're under the influence of drugs.